Hey guys, I've never actually done this before. And there's a big learn more button on the screen. Oh, there it goes. I have no idea how this sounds because I don't have my setup with me or anything like that, but I thought I would pop on and share a life lesson that I'm working through right now because it just feels like a good thing to do. So, as you guys know, I'm taking a month off and I'm here today just because I missed this. Like, I've been reading all of your comments and I just feel like there's such a cool community here on YouTube. And I just felt like coming on and sharing what's going on with me right now. So my husband and I, we live in Texas, in Austin, and it is like 100 and something degrees every day, and it can get to you. So we booked a vacation for 2 weeks in Santa Fe and in the New Mexican mountains where it's a breezy 60, 70 something degrees and lovely, no humidity. And it's something we're looking forward to for a long time. When we do these vacations, we drive because we have 2 dogs, and those dogs are everything to us. We don't have children. These are our fur babies. And my mission, I think I've mentioned before, is to make life easier for ADHDers and dogs, or animals to be more precise. So, making sure my dogs have a great life is a big priority for me. It's one of my top values. So we came up here with them to spend 2 weeks because they're getting older and, we just wanted to hang with them. And I did know that one of my dogs, she's 15 and she has a heart murmur, and something we've been managing for a long time. It's been fine. Well, what we didn't realize was that the altitude would have such a negative effect on her. So she was kind of weird on the way up, the 10, 11-hour drive. Then that night when we got here, she had 2 seizures. So she's now in emergency, and she's in an oxygen chamber. She's been in the oxygen chamber for about 24 hours now. And she had fluid in her lungs, or around her lungs and heart. So they're trying to get the fluid out and stabilize her so that we can get off the mountain because our vacation is now kind of off the rails and we can't stay here. And we have to, for her health, we have to get down this elevation, and we have to make sure that she can survive it. So we're currently just in wait mode. We've got everything packed up. We just got here like less than 48 hours ago, and now we've got to turn around and drive all the way back. But we don't even know exactly when we can do that because we have to wait for the right moment for her to be okay to do it. So needless to say, it is a disappointment on a lot of levels. We really wanted to be up here and we really wanted to spend the time with them. And, my dog almost died. So, and she's in emergency, and that vet bill will be astronomical, probably cost more than the trip. So all the things, right? And there's a few ways that we could approach this situation. Maybe the less coached, the less evolved me would have been melting down right now. But I've learned a lot over my lifetime, and more specifically over the past couple of years, about how to manage my ADHD now that I know I have it when shit hits the fan. And I want to share some of those things because I think it's really important. And it starts with perspective, which is not always a strength of mine, or hasn't always been a strength of mine. And I've talked a lot about the VIA character strengths, and I'm going to share why I think it's so important in this moment. So typically, I would have a meltdown on so many levels because things have gone such awry and we're in a place where we don't even have control over what happens next. Now, knowing as much as I do about myself and how I can better manage my emotional regulation in moments like this, I think it's so important to have these tools because you never know when life is going to hand you a shit sandwich. So the VIA character strengths, I'm trying to be as cohesive as possible here, guys, but I'm talking off the cuff and I have ADHD. The VIA character strengths are the most psychographically accurate depiction of your personal strengths that has been developed out of University of Pennsylvania, and it's really rooted in the positive psychology research and studies. So If you want to find out what your character strengths are, I recommend that you just Google Via Character Strengths and find the assessment. It's on their website. It's free. It takes about 20 minutes, and it will give you a readout out of all the 24 human character strengths there are. It will tell you what your top ones are, all the way down to your bottom strengths. And your bottom strengths are not strengths that you don't have. They're just strengths that you don't lean on naturally. So my top 3 strengths, well, my top 5 strengths, my top 3 are really only relevant here. Love of learning, hope, and gratitude. So I naturally and inherently shift into those very easily. So I have learned to, when shit hits the fan, instead of, my amygdala shutting down, popping off, and not being able to access my prefrontal cortex, because that's what happens in the brain when bad things happen, and we can't access logic and reason because our limbic, prehistoric, emotional brain is running the show, and it's not making the best decisions, and it's kind of emotionally irrational. We don't want to be in that place when we're in situations like this, this could be a lot worse, right? So I realize that I have a lot of privilege just even in this being my shitty moment. So when I now look at this situation through the lens of my character strengths and love of learning, hope, and gratitude, I'm able to look at this from a perspective of it is what it is. And I can get really upset, and I can be sad that we have to leave this beautiful area. I can be sad that my dog's in really rough shape. But instead, I'm choosing to believe that maybe this is happening for us. Maybe there's some other disaster that the universe is diverting us through for this. I'm certainly learning that dogs with heart problems shouldn't be in altitude. I didn't know that. I'm learning that my husband and I have a certain way of approaching things. And, I'm learning a lot about him in this situation. Not bad things, great things, because when crisis time comes around, he's really good. I'm learning how both of us react to situations with our dogs. And I'm learning that, we're really lucky. And this is moving into the gratitude piece, that we have the resources to deal with the situation. It's not life or death for us. We can make choices without it having a huge financial impact on our lives. And that's huge. That's a lot of privilege. And it humbles me to know that I'm really lucky, because I haven't always been that way. There has been a situation, many situations in the first 20, 30 years of my life where I wouldn't have been able to make these choices. So I'm very grateful for that. And that gives me comfort. And then of course with hope, I'm hoping that my dog is fine. I'm hoping that we get out of elevation without any issues, and that we make it home safely, and that all is well. And that's what I'm going to expect. And that's the attitude I have going into this. And with that, my amygdala, again, that limbic area, emotional area of the brain, stays calm. It calms my nervous system to think this way. And when your nervous system is calm, things just operate better. And again, you think more clearly. Other things that I've been doing in this rather, erratic time where I don't have a lot of control over my situation. I took some melatonin last night and had like a bomb-ass sleep. I slept for 9 hours, and I needed that, because if I don't have sleep, I don't have control over my mind and my brain, which I see as two different things. And I did yoga yesterday when my husband was in the emergency room with the dog. That calmed me down. I've been doing a lot of deep breathing, going for little walks around the neighborhood, because again, we don't know when we're leaving, so I can't go too far. And those things have really been helping. I mean, I preach them a lot, and they may sound like throwaway comments, but they're really not. Those small things are what make situations like this something that you can live through and not completely go off the rails. And that's so important, right? Like when you are in these moments when not everything's in your control, and what you wanted or what you expected is not how things are rolling, you can respond in a number of different ways, and your mood can be present in a number of different ways. And if you have an erratic mood, then it's going to make things harder for other people. And I'm not the only one in this situation who is suffering. So I'm really aware of how my mood is making this situation so much better. And I wanted to share that just in case, you're in a moment where, you need to work on your physiology and your nervous system. And maybe that helps. So on that note, I will be back officially on August 5th. I hope y'all are doing well, and I will report back on how my doggy is doing when I hear more. So I hope you guys are having a great week. Talk to you soon. By the way, I have no idea how to get out of this thing. Oh, here's a little X. Bye.